Right now at 5, the McDonald County Museum raises money to help install an elevator in its building.
And we've got a pretty decent start to the day. Some patchy fog possible through the morning, and then sunny skies with a few clouds. Take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Webb City VFW and American Legion took time to honor veterans and first responders with a brunch.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday. It is Veterans Day, November the 11th.
Yes,
so happy Veterans Day to all who served and are currently serving across the country. So we certainly thank you for that.
Yes.
And today, I mean, really, I got to stop doing this. I pretty much gave you the forecast in the first 3 seconds I spoke over there. When we have calm weather, sometimes it's very simplistic, it's very straightforward. But I know you want a few more details, right? I don't know. Sometimes I mean, it's Monday morning. Maybe you don't want a few more details. All right, I don't need the umbrella. We're good. But I'll give you a few more details because that's what they pay me to do. It's what they tell me I'm supposed to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Starting with a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. I don't know. Maybe I got too much sleep through the week. I am in a really fantastic mood this morning. So hopefully you folks at home will be in just as fantastic a mood as I am this morning because man, it's going to be a great day. Looks great out there right now. Same from MoDOT camera 20th. Range line in Joplin, looking fantastic as we get this day underway. Now, right now, we do have some patchy fog. Now, we've got denser fog just outside of these reporting stations around Cassville and Bentonville. We got some reduced visibilities around Veneta. And again, it's going to be patchy fog. It's not going to be all over the place all at the same time, but nonetheless, you want to slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. You folks at home, you know the drill. All right, into the afternoon we go. We're going to have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Winds are going to be light out of the north, and otherwise temperatures just a hair above average. A pretty good day for us. In fact, we're starting about average right now, sitting at 41 in Joplin, 40 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, again, near average temperatures. We've got some upper 30s out there, and we also, of course, have some low 40s. So this is right where we should be for today. So this morning, kids getting on that bus, starting with some patchy fog, 42, winds will be calm, and then later today, the winds will be out of the north 5 to 10, a few clouds here and there, right about 66, and that's where we're headed for highs, right around the mid-60s. So average high is about here. So like I said, we're only that much above normal, so pretty decent day ahead of us. The decent weather will stick around a little longer, and we got some rain on the way this week. We'll talk about that, and some very above normal temperatures on the horizon here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, reports of a 2-vehicle crash on East 7th and Pebble Road in Dunaway yesterday afternoon alerted multiple first responders. A truck traveling north on Pebble Road went to make a turn onto 7th Street when it T-boned an SUV, smashing into the driver's side door. Now, the SUV went off-road and took out a sign. Firefighters had to free the occupants from the SUV. 2 adult females were transported to an area hospital suffering non-life-threatening injuries. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, the McDonald County Museum in Pineville held a pancake breakfast fundraiser yesterday at the Pineville Community Center. Now, the goal is for the museum to raise over $200,000 to get an elevator installed into the building. Now, there was also a raffle where if a ticket number was called, attendees could go claim a prize of their choice, ranging from books to board games.
We need the elevator because the access to our second floor at the museum is difficult. We've got stairs that are steep and a little difficult for many of our visitors to make it up there, and we'd like to provide access to the entire museum to everyone.
A meeting for the museum's board also took place during the dinner. The Barton County Eagles 4405 hosted a veterans dinner for veterans in the community. Now, while the dinner was free for everyone, donations were recommended for people who attended that aren't veterans. People who attended also got to watch football games, play pool, and more.
Helping serve everyone in our community. We're a nonprofit organization, and we just want the community to know that we're we're trying to be more involved with them and help take care of our community and put them first, and anything that they need, they can come see us and get help with that. So.
Now, there was no set goal, and all donations were going to be given to a PTSD foundation. Well, a Veterans Day brunch is served to honor first responders and military personnel. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
I think it means a lot, because a lot of veterans are struggling. Once they get out, they don't know what to do. We give them a purpose.
Veterans Day celebrates sacrifices our military men and women make each day. The Webb City VFW and American Legion teamed up to serve brunch to area veterans and first responders.
Every year this is a breakfast to thank all veterans and also first responders. We try to give back to the community. We run bingo, and that's how it pays the bills, and it gives us money to help give back to the community.
The event also falls on the birthday of the Marine Corps, which turns 249 years old in 2024. Paul Espinoza reflected on his time with the Marine Corps and spoke about how this type of occasion makes him feel.
Since I'm a Cold War veteran, I never did consider myself as a veteran because we didn't go to war. I didn't see any combat. So now I look at it a little differently, but it's important to me because you need to support your first responders. That's the main reason we're here, is first responders and veterans. And they need to know that they've got all the support.
With times changing, Commander Wilson told us about how the reception of military veterans differs from years past and how support can make a huge difference to a veteran feeling forgotten.
I think it makes them feel appreciated, because a lot of veterans don't feel appreciated. Especially after Vietnam, there was a lot of veterans that there were signs that said sailors and dogs keep off the grass, or military. So there you've seen a lot of those, and I think that attitude has changed a lot over the years, and people are definitely more appreciative of our veterans.
In Webb City, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The VFW in Webb City will be hosting a Thanksgiving dinner in coming weeks, which will be open to all community members. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Pitt State's men's basketball plays in their second game of the season. We'll have the details. Plus, Pompeii, Italy sets new tourism rules after having a record-breaking number of tourists visit the historic city. And we have a warmer and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
The Kansas City Chiefs have won 14 straight games dating back to last year. The Chiefs are 8-0 after winning an overtime thriller on Monday Night Football. 6 days later, Chiefs were back in Arrowhead for a divisional matchup. Patrick Mahomes has a sore ankle, but he's good to go as the Chiefs face the Denver Broncos. We're going to pick things up in the second quarter. Denver leads 7-3. Here's Bo Nix with play action pass over the top to Courtland Sutton. Touchdown Broncos. Denver leading 14-3. Under 2 minutes before halftime, it's 4th and goal. Mahomes going to connect with Travis Kelce for the touchdown. Kelce ties Tony Gonzalez with the most career touchdown catches in Chiefs history. However, Denver still leads 14-10. So we're going to go to the final play of the game. 1 second left. Chiefs lead 16-14. Will Lutz on to kick the game-winning field goal, but it's blocked. Leo Chenal got a hand on it. This game was an instant classic. Chiefs survived to stay undefeated. Kansas City beats Denver 16-14.
Arguably, take it down for the winning kick, and then Leo steps up and does what Leo does every week. Somewhere he makes a play. Defensively, special teams, somewhere he steps up and makes a play, and he did a great job. I'm proud of our guys for battling. I told you that during training camp. They've got big hearts, and you got a chance to see that today.
Obviously, you're obviously work. It's out of your control, but at the same time, I've trusted my teammates. They're going to go out there and make a play. I was just happy, man. I was happy that we ended with that block, and Leo got through there, and it was just joy after that.
Chiefs are 9-0 and control their own destiny. Meanwhile, here's what's going on around the rest of the AFC. Buffalo Bills beat the Indianapolis Colts 30-20. Bills will play the Chiefs next Sunday in Buffalo. Tennessee travels to LA to face the Chargers, and LA wins that game 27-17. Pitt State men's basketball lost their first game of the season on Friday night. After a day of rest, the Grills prepare for another test in Kansas City, playing on neutral floor against St. Cloud State. Gorillas get into the win column for the first time this year. Pittsburgh State beats St. Cloud 73-67. The Gorillas outscored St. Cloud 47-38 in the second half. R.J. Forney had quite the day. He shot 5 for 8 from beyond the arc and scored a game-high 25 points. Pitt State will be back in action next Thursday in Kansas City against Colorado Springs. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are off to a blazing hot start. OKC is 8-1 to begin the year. On Sunday night, they face the Golden State Warriors in a big early season matchup. Steph Curry and the Warriors pay a visit to the Paycom Center in OK City. Final seconds of the first quarter. Thunder up by 4. Isaiah Joe is waiting in the corner, and he barely beats the buzzer, and that counts as a three-pointer. Thunder leading by 7. In the second quarter, nice pass here from Draymond Green to Jonathan Kuminga. Jumps over 2 defenders for the dunk. Warriors lead by 5. So we go to the fourth quarter. OKC down by 10. Jalen Williams curls to the inside lane and stuffs it in for the dunk. Thunder down by 8, trying to get back in the game. Later in the fourth, Hasten Wallace knocks down a huge three-pointer here to make it a 2-point game, but he can't defend against all-time greats forever. Steph Curry puts this one to bed with the knockout punch here. Warriors hang on for the win. Golden State beats the Thunder 127-116. Still to come, the American Stroke Association sets new guidelines for preventing stroke for the first time in 10 years. Plus, get another check of that forecast, talking about some rain on the horizon when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:16, almost 5:17 on this Monday, Veterans Day here in the 4 states. Now, I was just looking for this a few seconds ago, and I panic every time I can't find the weather clicker, but I'm going to tell you something that I just can't register up here. Maybe you folks at home know there's something like this too. We have 4 of these. Okay, 3 of them are right together, and I know where they are. But when I can't find the one I'm using, you enter a panic mode. Does that happen? Like, even though you've got a backup, you've got to have the one that you were using or it's lost. Thankfully, we have 3 others. One of these days, I'll remember that. And something you need to remember today, you're going to need your fog lights, low beams, not your high beams, because we have patchy fog out there, slightly reduced visibilities. Carthage, Joplin, Miami, a little more so in Bonita. Now, Bentonville, Cassville, the reporting stations here, just outside of where you can see there's some denser fogs. That's including 62 coming to the east out of Bentonville, and some very slightly reduced visibilities. Parsons, Fredonia, Pittsburgh, nothing major at this point, but patchy dense fog is going to be a possibility with us through about 9 o'clock this morning. Then we're going to have sunny skies, and then by about the noon hour, we're going to have some clouds rolling in, so we're going to go mostly clear to partly cloudy as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. It'll be partly cloudy overnight tonight. Sometimes I think the future track goes a little gung-ho on the clouds. I don't think it's going to be this cloudy, but we're still looking at partly cloudy skies. Overnight tonight, temperatures a bit warmer than normal, but like today, only about yay much. And we're going to go partly cloudy for us as we head into our Tuesday. Clouds will increase Tuesday night, and that's ahead of the changes on Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, we're only looking at a half-day rain event. So here we are at 5 a.m. Not much out there. But by 7, 8, we'll start to see a few isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm. The good news is no severe weather expected. The bad news is, as you know, we still need some rain, but as you can see, this is looking to be a relatively isolated event. And by noon, the bulk of the rain and activity out of here. Our far northern counties may get skirted by some activity on the southern part of this low pressure system that's going to be up across Kansas and near the Nebraska state line. So you could get a stray shower up there, but that's going to be about it. Unfortunately, as you see, as we head into early Thursday morning, not much more going on. We do need more rain, but that's all we're going to get this week, at least so far. 41 in Joplin. Skies for now are clear. Again, visibility is down to 8 miles. You can see our camera 7th and range line. No dense fog there. Winds are calm. And across the region, we've got temperatures chilly but average. We've got some upper 30s, Fort Scott, Nevada, Pittsburgh, Lamar, Stockton. Then we've got low 40s out there, and this is right where we should be. We have an average start to the day, which is pretty nice out there. Again, patchy fog initially through about 9 o'clock, upper 40s to start, near 60 by 11 this morning. Will again be sunny to start, and then clouds will start filling in from the south, so we'll go mostly clear to partly cloudy through the day. Temperatures, we should be about 62, 63. So again, we're above normal, but not significantly so as we go mid-60s. Also, winds are pretty decent. North at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight, the winds will shift out of the east. We're still partly cloudy, back down into the mid-40s. So again, we should be in the low 40s, so not a significant difference in where we'll be versus the average. Tomorrow, I did not spell cloudy right. Okay, I told you something's off on this Monday. I feel fantastic. I'm in a great mood, but maybe that great mood's having an effect on me. Morning showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two in the first half of our Wednesday. Low 60s, so near normal right here Wednesday, Thursday. Then we go above normal heading into the weekend, Friday, Saturday. But as we go into the start of next week, we'll see a few additional showers out there. And look at Tuesday night, 32 for the low, only 53 Wednesday. So get ready for some very fall-like temperatures. That is a check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning. For the first time in 10 years, the American Stroke Association releases new guidelines on stroke prevention. Now, the group is saying 80% of strokes may be preventable with better nutrition, exercise, and identification of risk factors. Now, nutrition recommendations include eating foods from the so-called Mediterranean diet. This includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and olive oil. Red meat and other saturated fats should also be limited. Meanwhile, exercise should last at least 150 minutes or 75 minutes a week to stay healthy. New guidelines also recommend doctors consider prescribing weight loss drugs to help patients slim down if needed. Stroke is the fourth leading cause of death in the United States, afflicting more than 500,000 Americans every year, according to the CDC. With the assistance of artificial intelligence, a new study has found that a significant number of Americans suffer from long COVID. Researchers at Mass General Brigham developed an AI-based tool that examines large amounts of data to look for symptoms such as fatigue, chronic cough, heart problems, and brain fog. And the AI tool was then used to assist with the study, finding that 23% of Americans suffer from long COVID. Other studies have suggested that only about 7% of Americans may have had long COVID. Long COVID often develops months after the initial COVID infection subsides, and researchers hope to release the tool to help doctors test with it. Results from the 2021 National Survey on Drugs Use and Health show more than 52 million people used cannabis at least once that year. As laws around this drug are loosening in some states, researchers are putting out a warning about use during pregnancy. Mandy Gaither has more on a new study and the risks facing pregnant people who use cannabis.
It's a drug that continues to be prevalent. In the U.S., at least 24 states have legalized recreational cannabis, but the concern for this drug still looms.
I think sometimes people think that because cannabis comes from a plant, that must be safe. And that just really isn't the case at all.
Sarah KOAM with Nationwide Children's Hospital is lead author of a study on the effects of cannabis exposure in pregnancy. Of the children studied who had prenatal exposure to the drug, researchers found many had both cognitive and behavioral impacts.
On average, had more difficulty controlling their impulses and paying attention. They had poor planning ability and also had a higher likelihood of exhibiting more aggressive behavior than the children who were not exposed to cannabis prenatally.
KOAM says a growing number of people are turning to cannabis for issues like nausea, sleep problems, stress, and depression. Those issues are common in pregnancy, but she says using cannabis to relieve them poses risks to the person pregnant as well.
I think it's important that patients know that there are better and safer alternatives to deal with those common problems than cannabis.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC say cannabis use also directly impacts areas of the brain and can affect memory, learning, attention, decision-making, coordination, emotion, and reaction time. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got the possibility of some patchy fog out there this morning, something to keep in mind, and rain later this week. The latest on your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, a color run takes place to help provide food for those who need it in the area.
We've got a pretty decent day across the 4 states. We've got some patchy fog to worry about a little this morning. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, local communities come together to honor our nation's military personnel. We'll take you there.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29, just coming up on 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy. Please help me.
Gosh. Chris Porter, it's Monday. It's Veterans Day. First, happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
Thank you to those who are currently serving or who have served. We certainly thank you for it because your service allows us to be as giddy as we are this morning. I don't know what it is. I told you guys earlier, I'm in a fantastic mood today.
Yes, you are.
I slept really well and I'm on it and I apologize in advance because there's just something, I don't know if it's something in the air, something on the drive.
I'm happy for you.
Everything's amusing to me this morning. Let's take a quick look outside. We got this. Our camera, downtown Pittsburgh, looks great so far. We have some patchy fog in the air. Of course, none that we can see here, and we can't see any yet from the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline, but the Joplin Airport is reporting some reduced visibilities down just under 8 miles. We have some now in the western portions of Benton County out there. So again, not anything significantly dense at this point. The lowest visibilities are Veneta, just under 7 miles. But do watch out for that patchy, dense fog, because you can run into that very easily across the area. So again, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you have them. Thankfully, you folks at home seem to know the drill because we have yet to cover any kind of accident related to the fog. So let's keep it that way. Heading into this afternoon, we're going to initially have clear skies, and by noon, we're going to start going mostly clear to partly cloudy out there. A very nice fall day, a very nice November day across the region. Just a light north wind, no rain out there. Looking good across the region. Right now, we are cool, but seasonably so. As we are at 41 Joplin, 40 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures this morning, again, right about where they should be out there. We've got some upper 30s. A little cooler now in Stockton, though, at 36. That's a little below normal. And the rest of us low 40s to get this day started. So kids getting on the bus, again, some patchy fog to contend with. 42, winds will be calm, and when the bus brings them home, winds light out of the north at about 5 to 10. Mid-60s, partly cloudy skies, and that's where we're headed for our highs today. It's about the mid-60s. So we've transitioned too into that period where, during the summer, we reach our peak temperatures 4, 5, 6 o'clock even. But now we're at that point, we're reaching them a little earlier. And again, we're supposed to be about 62, 63, not far from normal. Partly cloudy skies. A beautiful day. We do have some rain chances on the horizon, though. We'll talk about those here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, local communities honored our nation's military personnel over the weekend. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
Well, it makes all military veterans feel good about their service and the people that support them.
This year, a brand new event is put on by Carthage's Parks and Recreation Commission. The parade's purpose is to remind residents of the ultimate sacrifice made by our nation's veterans. Veterans in attendance at the parade reflected on the lessons their service taught them.
I was what they call a 31E20, a field radio repairman. I was in Pleiku in Vietnam, and we were attached to the 4th Infantry Division. We were an electronic maintenance shop, supported for the radios and the stuff for the tanks that was in the 4th Infantry Division and their armored division.
According to Edwards, the military taught him valuable skills that he's utilized the rest of his civilian life.
I think probably discipline and, being able to, to rely on the people you served with and, have the confidence it takes to go on and lead.
Onlookers watched floats of service members ride by, decorated with American flags and branch logos.
I'm just proud of those people. It makes me feel like so much that they've done that I wish there was more we could do for them to show them how much love and respect we have for them.
In Carthage, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The VFW Post in Carthage followed up the parade with a shrimp boil. Well, Joplin also played host to its own Veterans Day parade. It was the 37th year American Legion Post 13 have organized and hosted the parade. Saturday honored all branches of the military with highlights including marching bands from MSSU, Joplin, and East Newton. Now, the ground marshal was former mayor and longtime city councilman Phil Stinnett. Now, there were about 50 entries coming from all over the region, and if you missed it, we have highlights and the full broadcast on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Ronald McDonald House Charities of the 4 states puts on its annual Gift of Light, Gift of Love ceremony. Activities for people to participate in included photos with Santa, story time with Mrs. Claus, gingerbread man making, and performances with over 98 performers. The festivities ended with a Christmas tree lighting. The Fair Acres Family YMCA and Feeding Incorporated partnered up for their first ever Share the Harvest Color Fun Run and Raffle. Now, the fun run took place at Kellogg Lake in Carthage as colored sand was thrown at the participants who ran a 1-mile course. The event is a fundraiser for Feeding Incorporated, whose mission is to provide food for those who need it in the area.
It's a good opportunity to not only participate in something fun, but to give back to your community. We've had a lot of people that have come out today. It takes quite a few volunteers to put something like this on, and they've given of their time, taken time out of their schedule on a Saturday to come out and just support our cause.
Well, the run also had an after party where prizes were given out. The Curious Minds Discovery Zone partnered with many area organizations to have their 5th annual Touch a Truck at Marvel Park in Parsons. The event also allowed kids to interact with over 23 vehicles like dump trucks and fire engines, and even non-truck vehicles like helicopters and tractors.
It's for kids to be able to climb on the vehicles, see what they're interested in, and maybe it's a career they want to go in, or they just want to know a little more about it. Each truck has fun facts about the truck, so it's also a learning experience for the children.
Over 1,000 people attended the event last year. Organizers say they hope they beat that this year. Well, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Russian drones attacked the Ukrainian port city of Odessa, injuring two people and damaging a residential area. Plus, an American nurse was killed during her vacation in Hungary. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, topping World Watch. There's been a surge of interest in visiting Pompeii, Italy, the city that was destroyed by a volcanic eruption in the year 79 AD. Now, on October 6th alone, a record 36,000 people visited the historic site. And last year, about 4 million people took in the sights in Pompeii. Now, the numbers are so high, officials are now restricting the number of daily visits to no more than 20,000. Park officials say the limit has been set to help preserve the site and make it safer for tourists. When Mount Vesuvius erupted, it covered the city in ash that remained in place for nearly 2,000 years. About 2/3 of the site has been excavated, and archaeologists say it provides the best example of the daily life of the ancient Romans. Russian drones attacked the Ukrainian port city of Odessa Saturday night, damaging a residential area. Ukrainian authorities say both high-rise buildings and private houses were damaged. The Ukrainian Emergency Services reported 2 people were injured. Russia has stepped up its aerial attacks on Ukraine, which is trying to get more help from the West. Ukrainian officials say earlier in the week, missiles, bombs, and drones battered 3 regions of their country in nighttime attacks. Well, an American nurse's trip abroad turns to tragedy when police say she was killed by a man she met at a nightclub in Hungary. The suspect leading authorities to her body in the stunning murder occurring just one day after she and a friend finished a trip through Europe. Stephanie Bennett has more.
Her friends first alerted the authorities after she missed her flight and left her belongings in her Airbnb. Saturday night, family and friends gathered for a candlelight vigil in Budapest for 31-year-old Mackenzie Michalski, a nurse from Portland, Oregon. Mackenzie was on vacation when she went missing after disappearing from a nightclub on November 5th. CCTV footage identified a male suspect who was last seen with Mackenzie at the club the night she disappeared. Officers have not released the suspect's name, but identified him as a 37-year-old Irish citizen, only giving the initials LTM. Police say he allegedly admitted to investigators that he met Mackenzie in a local nightclub before leaving together for his apartment. Police say the pair had gotten intimate and he killed her in the process, but claimed it was an accident. Authorities say the Irish suspect then tried to cover it up by cleaning his apartment, hiding Mackenzie's body in a wardrobe, then placing her inside a suitcase before renting a car and driving to Lake Balaton, about 90 miles away, where he then hid her body in the woods. He was arrested on November 7th. Police video shows the suspect guiding authorities through those woods. Investigators checked out his online search history too, which revealed he looked up how to dispose of a body and then about the competence of the Budapest police, among others. For now, Mackenzie's family have set up a GoFundMe to help bring her body back home. They described her as the light to our world, a heart of gold.
That's a look at World Watch. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on this Monday, Veterans Day in the 4 states. We are at 5:45 right now, and we are with the fog tracker. We are with it because, well, we do have some patchy fog out there. Joplin, Bonita, some slightly reduced visibilities. We don't have anything overly significant, but you can see a handful of communities out there with some slightly reduced visibilities, and of course in the rural areas, that could lead to some patchy, dense fog. So again, you folks at home know the drill. Low beams, not your high beams, and use your fog lights if you do have them. All right, into the afternoon we go, but once the fog clears, we're looking at sunny skies, clear skies initially, and then by about noon, we start going mostly clear to partly cloudy across the area. Temperatures today about yay much, it's not much, but about yay much above average out there. We should be about 62, 63. We're only going to be a couple, 3 degrees above that across the region. Now, overnight tonight, we're going to be, again, for many of us, a few degrees above normal with partly cloudy skies, and the partly cloudy skies will continue into our Tuesday as well, but we're otherwise pretty calm. Some of us Tuesday, though, are going to be a little warmer than where we are today, a little bit more above average out there. Then we go into our Wednesday. Now, at 5 a.m., we're mostly cloudy, but dry, calm. Most of us doing all right. But as we get about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll start to see some isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. Not everybody's going to get rain. I know we need some more, but not everybody's going to get in on this rain action. But at least some of us will get some rain out there. I think the best part, again, we're not expecting any severe weather with this. We just do not have the environment for it. I mean, take a look at some of these temperatures, too. Now, don't get me wrong. We have some stronger storms when it's chilly out there. But at least with this, nothing significant expected. Now, by about noon or so, the bulk of this activity is out of here. However, the low pressure system, you see the flow around it here, it's going to be just off to our north, could cause a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder in our very far northern counties, but outside of that, we will dry out as we head into the afternoon on our Wednesday. 41 in Joplin right now. Winds are calm, and again, visibility at the airport is at 8 miles. Temperatures across the region are relatively seasonable, except for Stockton. Stockton a few degrees below normal at 36. The rest of us pretty close to normal, upper 30s and low 40s as we get this Monday underway. We are looking at upper 40s to start, patchy fog through 9, sunny skies through the late morning, and 60 by 11 o'clock. Our highs today, mid 60s, so again, just a little above normal, mid 60s and maybe some upper 60s Tuesday, low 60s. So average temperatures Wednesday and Thursday with those showers and storms. Then we'll go a bit above normal for Friday and Saturday ahead of some additional rain chances Sunday through Tuesday. And by Tuesday, a boundary rolls through. Look what it does to those temperatures. 32. The possible low Tuesday night, only 53 next Wednesday. Very fall-like weather on the way. And that's a check of your forecast. We will be back with more right after this.
Well, now with the latest from Tinseltown, here's Rick Damagella with the Hollywood Minutes.
Never let go. Never let go. Never let go. Halle Berry's horror yarn heads home. Never Let Go follows a trio of family members literally tied to their home for safety from an unseen evil. It's out now digitally and arrives on DVD and Blu-ray December 3rd.
These days life moves so very fast.
The second season of the comedy Flula Makes Five is streaming now, but once again it's an audio-only podcast because reasons.
I know the first time Heinz, my director of photography, forgot to remove the lens caps, and so it was just a podcast. But this year we made sure to remove all of the lens caps. Unfortunately, our editor took all of the audio and videotapes on the booze cruise, and somehow the videotapes were dropped in the ocean near Catalina Island. And so once again, we only have the audio, but it's a delicious podcast.
Why does it happen? Because it happens. Roll the bones.
That's the title track from 1991's Roll the Bones by Rush. That album, along with the Canadian rock legend's 90s studio recordings, are back on vinyl. Rhino Records has just released Rush, the album's 1989 to 1996 box set. Dropping the needle in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Well, a little lost penguin gets marooned on a sunny surf beach thousands of miles from his homeland. And hey, you could end up in worse places. Well, Doreen Roth has that story and more in today's Take a Look at This.
Hello? A lonely emperor penguin is making headlines after showing up inexplicably on an Australian beach. Hello? Thousands of miles from its native Antarctica. Oh, shoot. Experts think rather than making a wrong turn, it's likely the penguin may have followed a northward current in search of food. An eyewitness told Aussieophile ABC when it arrived, the traveler dove and slid on its belly, likely thinking the sand was snow, before standing up and shaking off. Hey, this ain't no snow. Officials said the penguin was malnourished and, let's face it, probably a little embarrassed, but it is now being rehabilitated by a registered local wildlife carer. Speaking of wildlife being where it ain't supposed to be, chaos ensued at New York's LaGuardia Airport after a rascally raccoon rappelled down through a ceiling tile before scurrying around and freaking out travelers and staff. Eyewitnesses say officials were eventually able to shoo the critter outside, and Spirit Airlines later said it's addressing the incident with a professional wildlife control company. Finally, it's time to bid Myra goodbye-ra. Back in February, marine mammal rescuers saved this cold-stunned turtle found ailing off the icy Vancouver coast, far from her native subtropic waters. They named it Myra and nursed it back to health for months. Then, collabing with SeaWorld San Diego and volunteers with Turtles Fly 2, Myra was packaged up and shipped to waters off Southern California, where she was once again set free and followed with GPS. Officials told local affiliates she's now headed in the right direction. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, to the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines of America, a grateful country gives back to you today. Today is Veterans Day to honor military veterans of the United States Armed Forces. Now, here's a sample of businesses giving back in small ways. Starbucks will give veterans a free cold or hot tall coffee. Active duty military and vets will receive a free meal at all Chili's. Denny's will give service members from 5 a.m. to noon a free original Grand Slam. IHOP has free red, white, and blueberry pancakes, and Krispy Kreme is offering a free coffee and donut. An animal rescue shelter in Southern California demonstrates how to get its ducks in a row when safety and lives are at risk. A wildfire that broke out northwest of Los Angeles on Friday forced thousands of Californians to evacuate, including dozens of ducks that were rescued from an evacuation zone. Now, the ducks were then brought to a Camarillo animal shelter. The wildfire had been dubbed the Mountain Fire and had scorched across 20,000 acres, burning more than 100 structures in its path as firefighters worked tirelessly to put it out while fighting fierce winds in the area.
And we're going to be dry here as well over the next couple of days with some rain chances by Wednesday. We got patchy fog through the morning hours, wrapping up by about 9, 10 at the latest, then clear skies outside of that, about 60 by 11 o'clock this morning. Heading into the afternoon, highs relatively close to average, just a few degrees above as we go mid-60s, partly cloudy skies and a north wind at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight, winds will shift out of the east, but still about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And we'll continue with the partly cloudy skies and somewhat above normal temperatures into the mid-40s. We're going to continue above normal. Upper 60s tomorrow, maybe even a couple of 70-degree readings. Then we'll have some morning showers and storms. Bulk of this activity is done by noon, 1 at the latest. A little cooler Wednesday, Thursday, close to average. In fact, right about at average. Above normal Friday and Saturday. As we head into next week, more rain chances Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. A boundary Tuesday drops our temperatures down into the low 30s overnight and only into the low 50s for highs on Wednesday. That's Check Your Forecast. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.